It's not a B3 or something.
So we are live now.
Okay.
Welcome to another episode. We had some I think we had some audio difficulties, but that's solved now. So welcome to another episode of JazzrockTV Live on Thursday afternoon, as always. Evening, right?
Evening.
Evening. And we have great guests.
An even bigger welcome to our guests tonight. This is the band TRISTAN from the Netherlands. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Sebastiaan, Jaycilee, and Coen. At least, part of the band, right?
Yeah, the other ones couldn't make it. They're so busy right now with touring and stuff like that.
So good to see you guys. Good to have you. Ralph, you wanted to say something? Or?
Yeah, I wanted to say that the other 20 guys are already vaccinated and they're getting ready for the world tour. Those three are the unlucky ones, The others are going to make some millions with the albums in the United States and Israel.
Yeah,
most likely. Yeah. But we already learned from you guys that in the Netherlands it's kind of similar situation as we have here in Germany, as always. So, but it's kind of we find our ways, to go through all this madness, and you guys are presenting your new record, in April, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's right.
And so tell us a little bit about the record. What is it called? How do you guys put it together during Corona times?
Well, it's called "What Could Possibly Go Wrong," which is quite
Shooting in
this title for this moment, but it actually didn't start it like that. We already had that title. That's where it went wrong. But it's a record that we are very proud of. We started recording. Actually, it just started the pandemic, and me and Coen, we were able to still meet up. And I think for a long weekend we did. It was only one.
Right?
It was more. It was longer than a weekend this time. Oh, okay. Well, in any case, we recorded like a whole bunch of tracks in only a few days, like the basic stuff. Normally, we'll be with Frans on bass with us, but that wasn't possible. So that's how it started, and we ended up with 10 to 14 tracks or something. So it was quite something. Like I didn't expect that. But it ended up being really, really, really nice. So we sent it also to Jaycilee. We sent like every 4 hours. It was also a bit teasingly like, even if we just finished, like the basic recording, we said like, oh, maybe we make an MP3, and we sent it to Jaycilee. So at first, of course, she was happy, and she was like, oh, nice. And then the second came in 4 hours later, and she was like, oh, nice, great track. And then the next day, she was like, oh, many tracks came in.
Yeah.
A bit overwhelming. Yeah, she got a bit scared, and
You can take the little bit away. I was scared.
Yeah, totally.
Before I knew it, I had like 10 songs. Okay, good luck. You can write the lyrics now. And oh my gosh, it was very overwhelming.
Yeah. So you are the newbie in the band. You're not that long there. But before we talk about this, I would like to hear some music, Georg. What about this?
Yeah, let's hear the single that you a bit of the single that you already issued. I think the album is coming on April, but one single everybody can already hear. So let's have a short preview of that one.
Yeah, okay, it's good.
She is such a perfect girl, twisted around you in a swirl. Seems like the righteous thing to do, but she ain't the perfect girl for you. I make you laugh only like I do. Looks like the perfect girl to you. She'll wait for you till you get home at night. in a fight. She'll clean your car, but you will never drive. Everything she does, showing she's the perfect wife. When you joke, she will always laugh. Only showing she's the better half. She'll give you money, yes, we're talking like honey. But baby, 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 can't you see? She's such a perfect girl. Twisted around you in a swirl. Seems like the righteous thing to do. But she ain't the perfect girl for you. I make you laugh only like I do. Looks like the perfect girl to you. You never ever bought a diamond ring. She'll read your book, though it's not a thing.
That's
Awesome.
that's great. That's a great single, to start with. So that and I saw in some of the posts, I think when you issued the single, that's the perfect name for you to come into the band, right?
Jaycilee is our perfect girl now.
Yeah. I wanted to ask that. Are you the perfect girl, Jaycilee?
Yes, I am definitely the perfect girl.
So
She's not what we want, but what we need.
Exactly.
And I'm sure she's washing the Passat of Sebastiaan every Saturday. That's
we have to schedule that in. Yeah.
That's an insider. I'm sorry for that out there.
But I have
No,
a question.
I like the. Sorry, Georg. I like how you did the verse. The verse very rhythmically, and then it goes into a very melodic chorus. I like this difference. This I don't know how you call it.
Yeah, I know. I understand what
Break.
you mean.
Yeah.
It's all Coen's idea. He actually wrote the whole song, including the lyrics.
Including
The lyrics. Yeah.
So Coen is the perfect girl. Or he wishes to have one.
He wishes to. That would be nice, huh?
But
Yeah, it was cool on this album. We also decided to really do most of the things ourselves. So it's like also the percussion parts and no extra backing vocals except like we have a guest vocalist. But furthermore, it's like all just the five of us. So it's kind of cool.
But that was already the concept of the album before, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we're not that creative.
No, but you're still following that, direction.
Yeah, but it's slightly different because we have the Spice of Five was really almost no backing vocals, no percussion at all. Keyboards were like, you could play them with two hands. That was the idea. Guitars are not double. And now we chose again to have a bit more production. So there is quite some percussion in it. There are more keyboard layers. There are more guitars. And there are certainly more backing vocals in it as well. So that's really different from the previous album, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
And all those
I'm interested in Jaycilee when you joined. What was the story? How did you guys get together, and what was your impression? Because joining a band that's already you issued already several records since 2014, right? So that's kind of I would imagine that's kind of a tough thing to join to be a kind of the new singer of a band. So how did you guys get together, and what was your your story joining the band?
Well, actually, I know the band because of my father. He's also a bass player, and well, the funny thing is he sent me some music like a few years ago, and he said, like, he was asking me, well, what do you think about this? And I was thinking like, oh, this is awesome. Where are they from? So yeah, well, you can guess. I'm like, America, UK, something like that. He said, nope, you're wrong. They're Dutch. I was like, whoa, mind blown. Never knew that. And then finally I got to see them live because my dad called and said, like, they're so close by, you really need to come right now. And then at that moment I saw them play with Evelyn and I was amazed. And in between breaks and at the end, I actually got to meet everybody, and it was very relaxed and very chill, and everybody was very laid back. And before I knew, actually, a year later, Evelyn, she announced that she would move to Ireland, and Coen and my dad and also Sebastiaan, they played a few years ago, and then actually Coen he contacted my dad and was asked, like, do you maybe know a singer for that could stand in for Evelyn? And the only 3 things my dad said was Jaycilee, my daughter. So that was exciting. And actually, before I knew it, we contacted each other, and then they sent me a few songs from their previous album just to check if my voice would fit in the music and if the vocals would be okay. And the rest is history, actually, for me. Although it's a few months back, but it doesn't matter.
Already history.
Yeah, it wasn't even. We didn't instantly tell Jaycilee, like, okay, you're the one, but we actually never even tried anybody else. It was just she came here. We worked on some stuff that's actually now on the album, and it was just great. Also, the way we could work was so much fun, and it actually ended up being like a real trigger for doing this again, because it was not the most positive time to start anything like this, but at the end turned out great. Plus that, we had maybe too much time to really put a lot of effort in, and I think really thanks to starting with Jaycilee, things got rolling again, and maybe there wouldn't have been another album. So this is something cool.
And
I think that's also for the song title. Of course, it came at first, like Sebastiaan said, what could possibly go wrong? But it's also kind of our mindset as a band. You can say we don't do another album, and you go, think about it, and maybe later, or maybe postpone to 2022. But we were very fast by mentioning what could possibly go wrong. We just go for it. That's actually the vibe we have with that whole sentence as well.
Yeah, optimistic idea.
Yeah, and, actually it's quite a positive and optimistic vibe. And if you look back in when we started out in 2014 with the first album, when we hit the UK soul charts, we also were we just go there. We go to the UK and we see what happens. Yeah. Same optimistic kind of vibe. Just go for it and see what happens in the end.
That's a good attitude, I think. But Jaycilee, you joined in autumn last year, right? In 2020. Yes. Did you guys ever had a chance to meet in person?
Well, yes. Actually, the first one I actually met was Sebastiaan, because I went to the studio and then we recorded a weekend. We did a writing session. And then I met Frans and Coen actually when I had to do the final takes. But actually, until this day, I never met Guy in person.
Mm.
Yeah, she's a bit afraid of Guy right now, actually. So.
For good reason.
Yeah.
No.
He may be small, but
now she's even more scared.
But when you develop, so that sounds like the songs of the album have been developed, from last year to this release, or is these songs that you already had somewhere in your drawers and just finalized them, or is this really something that you developed together for that album?
Actually, all except for one was totally fresh. Like what we normally do if it's for an album like this, we prepare something, and the idea between me and Coen usually is let's not try and make it completely finished, and just come here and then we work on it together, so that it becomes more of a band effort. And so that works really well and fast. But funny things happen that way, you know, that you don't expect or that you can't plan really. So most of it was all new, except for one that was the actual very, very first song I've ever written for Tristan, and we never released it. That was Rule to the Game. So that was the only one that we took out of the very deep, dark box.
There were of course a couple of, also the song, one with Casper Nova, who is the guest singer actually on this album. You recorded it before, but the same thing. Sebastiaan still had the files, so we brought him in, and we just played a new intro, and we added keyboards to it, more keyboards than there were at first. And I think also the Duke, the tribute to George Duke, which Frans had written last year actually already, or 2 years ago. But it also, of course, there was only like a MIDI idea at the first impression we got from him. But like Sebastiaan said, we brought, I think that weekend, we brought like 10 ideas to the table, and we just finished them up. And the nice thing of being together in the studio in Germany is that we are very well and nicely treated by his parents as well. So the atmosphere is very relaxed, and you're totally focused on new music.
Great.
So that's really great. So also the vibe, or we had at a certain point, we said like, also because Sebastiaan is building his drums, we said like, there are no toms allowed. I think also because there was no tom at that time at a
No, and we planned to record together, but he really wanted to have the keyboard set up, and then I ran out of channels. So I thought, now I'll redo everything later anyway. But we ended up not doing that at all. Like everything is, I guess, 1 or 2 takes. Funny enough, and maybe one that I tried to redo one, still not using toms. But which is surprisingly more difficult than I expected. But I tried to redo one, but that just killed the vibe. So everything's completely 1 or 2 takes. That's what we did, and it's fine because they're two. Yeah, sorry.
Now I would, as you were mentioning the Duke, that song, that's really one of the songs that I really love, because it's very as a jazzy. More jazz vibe than the other songs, as you said, as a tribute. Should we have listen a minute to it, just to?
Yeah, sure.
The things that music can achieve, and despite in what you believe.
Beautiful.
Great song, beautiful song.
Doesn't sound like a 2-track. two-take recording, not two-track.
I was really thinking about how to, develop and, such a song, in Corona times with not being together and, sorting out arrangements and vocal arrangement and everything. It really sounds like, from one piece, but, being everybody in different locations. That sounds like a challenge to me.
Yeah, well, with this song, for instance, it's typically, Frans usually makes more than just a rough sketch. So, and I think it's also necessary for a track like this. So that was actually also nice, It's after all the other songs to have one of these coming up, then you kind of know where everything's going already. And yeah, I would be lying if this was a first take, but this was a first take anyway. So, but there was another tune, also really nice. I think I just had just a groove or something, and we already had done so many, and I thought, okay, well, maybe not necessary this one. But then Koen said, no, let's try. And then I think we had a song in about an hour or so, and yeah, that was it. Change, right?
Yeah.
It's a cool one.
That's the one that's more like, it's kind of the, it's something different from what we just heard. It's more like, Prince soul track,
yeah,
right?
But also, actually, the idea was also a George Duke song, Games, from George Duke, which is, of course, totally different than the other one. But George Duke made so many different great albums, actually, so... but he had some kind of funky, crazy times where there were crazy choirs, and so that Games and Change was a nice thing. And the grooves are also totally, actually, when we played it, the verse and the chorus are totally different grooves. But when we played it, it felt very naturally, actually. And then we listened again, and we were like, okay, yeah, maybe live is going to be a challenge to get it like this, but we'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
So George Duke is George Duke for you kind of, a major inspiration, not only for playing keyboard, also for writing arrangements? Is that where it's coming from?
Yeah, because he's so different, he has so many skills and so many different styles of music as well, from pure jazzy to very R&B-ish, till fusion, till, so it's so mixed. Yeah, that's a great inspiration, I guess, to most of, or maybe all of, everybody knows the George Duke songs, and yeah, it's kind of musical history as well.
Absolutely, yeah. That's something where you sometimes might get into, I should not say fight, but because I can imagine that everybody from the band is coming with something that's inspiring for himself or herself, and then coming, and it's sometimes a tough thing to find the bass line, for something that matches all inspirations.
No. Actually, it's really easy because we don't really tell each other what to play. Well, we would get happy when we hear something that we like, but it's always fun, I mean, all these guys, they're so not talking about myself. The really skilled players, So it's like, and we all like different types of music. So. And the funny thing is that even with a track like we just heard, which is so different from all the other ones, because it's us thrown together in the studio, it just still sounds like Tristan. So it's there's no real boundaries. Like sometimes we try and make things not too fusion-esque, but and save that for another band. But then again, when we play live, it's all over the place. So. Yeah, it's never been a problem.
That sounds like a good combination of musicians in the band. How long are you guys together, and how did it all start?
Well, Yeah, how long? Koen, how long has it been?
Yeah, maybe I think when I look back in some emails from when really Tristan, I think it was 2010. So also before playing with Evelyn, we had some different singers as well, and even recorded, and you try stuff, and but the chemistry we have with the three of us, like the core of the group from the start, Sebastiaan, Frans, and me, was actually when we met for the first time on the at a fusion guitar player, and we played for his CD release. We were in Luxembourg, and we came up the driveway, and that was the first time we shook hands, actually. So Frans and Sebastiaan knew each other from before, so they know each other longer than the three of us. So we talked, and we went inside to rehearse with the guy. And the first song was so tight, and we liked the same kicks, and so the song finished with a real, heavy fusion unison ending, and we were all there, and we had a nice solo, and so the guy told us, he said, like, "Oh guys, yeah, you can really say that your trio has been playing together for decades." He really thought that we played together for a very, very long time. So that was really like, okay, maybe it's.
Sometimes you just have this obvious, very obvious click when you play together with somebody, and I think we've always had that. Sometimes we even try to avoid sounding like it, because it can be really annoying to us if we end up hitting the same accents the whole time. So sometimes I hear Koen playing something, going somewhere, and that we actually both know where the accent will be, different from the arrangement. But then maybe Koen would choose actually to play it just an eighth note later. Otherwise it sounds a bit lame, we think. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. No, but actually ever since we played together, also with our instrumental albums with On Impulse, but after that we also started to record for the Tristan stuff, I think.
Yeah.
At first it didn't even have a name, the whole band, until we had to play for a little concert somewhere, and of course they asked, what is the band called? So we needed a name. So Sebastiaan, it's the middle name of Sebastiaan's son. So
it wasn't meant to be serious at first, but then we kept it.
Well, that's the story how most of the band names, have been put together, because of there's a gig, we don't have a name, and promoters asking, oh shit, what do we do?
Yeah, like probably with every group that I think that was one of those gigs I organized at that time. So he kept bugging me, like, yeah, but I need to promote it. So you send a group email like, guys, we need a band, and then you hear the crickets. The band name. Nobody replies. So I thought, okay, never mind, Tristan.
So if you would have had a daughter, the band would be called Isolde then.
Yeah.
That's the name of the record company, right? I think it's. The label is called Isolde Records.
Yeah, cool.
Nice thing. So should we listen to something before we continue to talk?
Sure.
Should we listen to? One of the songs I like is "Got to Get," because I'm a bass player, and Frans for sure, he's such an amazing player, and I need to say I really love the way that Sebastiaan, you and Frans, are playing it. I really love it. Sorry for that. I also love your singing and Coen, But
I understand.
As being a bass player, as at least this record also for bass players is kind of top record. He's playing so well and so colorful. I really love it. So that's most likely a Frans promoter track.
Yeah.
So It's got to get.
Once I felt your love, something happened inside. I could not think of. It was all something new that we had. The first moment we shared with my lover, my friend. It seemed too good to be true. But then a fear crept in. I don't know what it was. Became all too much. Ran away and I left you behind. I was out of my mind. I did not realize that we had it all. Got to get you into my life. My love for you I can't describe. Got to get you back into my life again.
Appearing there.
It's
Awesome
also
song.
It's a great song. Also a good example for the vocal arrangements. And you know, well, if you can say something about the Rhodes in the beginning, you know, that's your
Yeah, no, I
topic.
just want to first forget the Rhodes. The vocals. How do you come up with those vocal lines? And the phrasing reminds me very much of one of my favorite singers, Chaka Khan, in this song. Do you hear that too? Or is it only me?
Well, no, that was actually the idea. Coen already told me, like, okay, when you write this, you have to have Chaka Khan in the back of your head. And he actually helped me with the melody. Because sometimes I was thinking, like, well, there's so many possibilities. What would be the right one? So yeah, this is what we came up with. But this really is one of my favorite songs. I just love the bass, and I love how the backing vocals. This was my favorite thing to sing, the backing vocals in this song. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
sounds amazing. I like the vocal line of the lead vocals, especially.
Thank you.
It's-
Yeah, very proud of it.
Yeah.
And of course, as somebody who's a keyboard student since several decades, I like the Rhodes sound.
Good.
Do you use a real Rhodes, or do you use a VST instrument or some kind of?
I'm thinking I'm actually not quite sure for this one. I think I recorded it here because the song was slightly different in the beginning when we recorded it the first time. So we made also changes in the chords and because the melody in the chorus is actually was instrumental at first, like a sort of Stevie Wonder kind of na na na. But it changed. It changed, of course, in the end with words, and we changed also the chords, and therefore we needed some kind of intro. So that's where the Rhodes came up in the end, actually.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's just my Yamaha Rhodes here. So just when. Yeah.
Cool, very cool. And in the end, when you had all these tracks together, and who did the mixing and producing and the finalization?
I think.
Well, actually, yeah, it's always we end up doing the mix at France's studio. So, but there was Coen and Frans together.
Yeah.
I couldn't come there. It's not possible. Not allowed.
Not allowed to come over now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of a lot of the things we play usually to the song are. It's not that we still have to make a lot of decisions actually. So we play what we hear in the song. And of course, sometimes you make a choice if you will have the Rhodes or the Hammond in or out. But most of the time we already play it, and it's the same for Sebastiaan's percussion, which he played. Or it's not like we have like 80 tracks of percussion and then we have to choose. But actually, what he sends us, that's most of we use most of the stuff actually straight away.
Is that
Eat this.
Yeah, is that something that is actually coming? I was thinking about if there's because of the Corona situation, everybody's sitting at home and you have time. Is that reflecting in the way of doing the arrangements that you do more because you have the time and you are for yourself, and is there kind of an effect in writing the songs that being so scattered and having the time, having the technical stuff?
Well, I think actually that it's probably in there somewhere, but I think furthermore we didn't actually work so different from what we normally do. So, but it was actually just a very welcome thing that came up to do this, because it's I think for some people even difficult enough to find the energy to pick up your instrument, because when are we playing? So this was really helpful in that sense. So it must have had an effect, and almost a pity that we finished it.
I remember a certain time when I was talking to Sebastiaan on the phone at a certain time when we finished. Actually, he finished his percussion recordings, and of course, before that, you're almost pushing like, oh, we need to finish this and we need to finish this. But at a certain point, we were talking to each other on the phone, and you're like, oh, now it's done. We had recorded all the stuff, and now what? So it also keeps you positive and energy to keep on going. And somehow we were, but we thought, like in September, we were still lucky that I could travel to Germany. So we had some time there as well. But like Jaycilee already said, like the time that Jaycilee was at Sebastiaan's place, I was supposed to be there as well. But then at that point, there was like we couldn't travel to Germany from certain provinces in Holland. So Jaycilee was allowed. I was not allowed to come into Germany.
Is it possible for you to do any plans for playing live again? Do you book some gigs? I mean, for 2022 or whatever?
Of course, we hope that we'll still start anything, of course, again, from summer or before summer. We have actually kind of quite a tour and quite some concerts ahead of us. So hopefully we will start playing again. And some of them are clubs where they're, with 50 or 100 people, they will even start with the concerts again.
Yeah.
So it might be even easier than, the big festivals to start.
I'm sure. Did you ever think about doing some online concerts, streaming?
No, it's so difficult to get together at the moment. Well, it's probably going to get easier soon. And it would have been, it's also like, why did I have to live in Germany? One might ask. But we thought about it, but I think we were asked to do one, right? But we ended up.
But it's not possible actually right now.
Not these days, all right. But
also the other thing is that a lot of live stream concerts are given away for free now, also at top venues, which are usually then sponsored by the government. But they have all the equipment and it sounds nice, and they can hire people who do the streaming. And then if you have to do it independently or from your home, it will never be that good. But if you give just your concert away for free, that's actually I compared it this week. I had a guy who worked at Shell for the petrol and stuff. It's like I said, can you imagine that you have BP and you have Shell, and that someone from BP, they say like, oh, well, we will give away petrol for free, And then the other company, they don't get any subsidy or any other money, but you can still sell your petrol, but of course at cost price or whatever. So it is a strange situation. Actually, everybody does stream concerts. There are, of course, a lot of stream concerts with very bad quality of audio. So it's, there is so much as well. So, and I think in the end, everybody is just waiting to go out there again and go to concerts and see each other live.
I'd much rather be a little bit more patient in that sense.
I think there's a lot. That's what we see in Germany, and as you said, it seems to be the same on your end. A lot of discussions in the music, communities, and how to go on with this, concept of playing live or doing live streams and get your contribution and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of, most likely there will be some changes. We need to find some maybe new concepts or new ways, where you can distribute and promote and do your stuff and reach people. But that's kind of a development. But we will see. I agree. Let's get the concerts coming back. I saw on your webpage that you, if I saw correct, you already announced some dates for later this year, right? Also in Germany. Did I saw that correct?
Yeah.
So
and hopefully even in May, and because there are some smaller venues, but they have like a outdoor garden, so the beer gardens will be possible to have concerts with 80 people, or so if something starts, it might be starting with concerts like that. I hope.
I think that will be also a challenge, because every band, every musician wants to start playing, so there's most likely a flood of bands and people that want to play.
I don't know. I mean, we at the same time, we are one of those, maybe I don't know if it's few, but we are very prepared at the moment to, because we got this new album, and Koen's been working really hard promoting it, either with reviews, but also with talking about doing gigs again and so on. Like we got some really interesting options coming up. So hopefully with a little bit more time, things will be probably not completely back to normal. But I really hope that it wouldn't have to change so drastically, because I think we would really miss something from our culture. It's like so important to attend a live gig and being able to cheer with your mouth open.
Absolutely.
I don't know, because it's so part of almost every human being I know. Like music, come on. I mean, what's more fun than doing a live show? For us, like I'm dying to start again. It's like I'm building drums, but it's not my profession. I want to play.
Yeah,
I can tell you, it's like you said, and I can tell you just a quick thing. Today, I had in my job, I had a conference about happiness at work with several people from all over the world, and then there was a question, what is driving your happiness? And you can imagine, everybody said, music, songs, dancing. So that's what's making us happy. So we're glad we have guys like you creating such great music. So should we know already the favorite song from Jaycilee. So Coen, what's your favorite song from the record?
Actually I like, because there are so many different flavors on this album. So it's not that I really have a very special song which I like a lot. I like them all. They're all they all have different grooves. They all have different flavors and different stories to tell as well. So actually the one I like a lot is "Don't Turn Her Down," because it's a bit about Jaycilee doing an audition for a band with in a creepy basement, and So she, of course, she exaggerated.
Exaggerated it.
Exaggerated a bit, but she referred, of course, to Sebastiaan's the first meeting she had.
Yeah, very cool. I've been meaning to talk to you about that, Jaycilee. What is that? With that creepy guy? What is that?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You're an easy target. No.
No problem.
Okay.
I would suggest let's listen to that great song as well.
Standing there singing for all of you. Music is what pulls her through. Making music all around is her dream. Please don't turn her down. A band was looking for a singer, so she signed up. She's just a beginner. Got a call, she could come and try. Then the nurse came over. Oh, how she could die. Standing there, singing for all of you. Music is what pulls her through. Making music all around. Please don't turn her down. She went to a dusty basement. First audition with a creepy string.
Ah,
Yeah.
that was the spot.
There was a creepy stranger.
That's a creepy guy.
So you see, there's a story.
Yeah.
Great song.
I'm sorry.
Great song.
Turned it down just before Sebastian came in.
Sorry.
She wrote the lyrics after
I
she
just
was
want to
already
give.
hired. It's terrible.
I just want to give everybody a good reason to buy the record. To get that full
Okay.
story.
A cliffhanger.
Smart move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
And I sorry for repeating. I really love the bass. Sorry for that.
Well, it's a sin bass. It's a sin bass here.
No problem. I understand, daughter of bass player, so I'm totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great album. So
So-
the release is on 2nd of April, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
So we will share the links where everything can be the people can pre-order already, right?
Absolutely.
I will put
They should.
I will put the link in the chat for those of you who are following us on this live stream. But also on our webpage, you can see the full list of links to all the Tristan sites. And also on your webpage, tristanmusic.com, I think it is. So the album can be pre-ordered. And all the links to wherever the album is available.
Yeah, we really appreciate all the support, of course. So,
You can
please do.
Yeah, you can pre-order digitally, or you can pre-order the CD already, or and also on the webpage there is all the information right now, so you can see the concert straight away. You can hear some snippets of the album. There are some videos, so follow.
Awesome. Our friend Harold just posted here in the chat that you may be on the 14th of May in Mülheim an der Ruhr.
Yeah. There was
Soul
that's the
Cultura
beer garden
bar.
I meant.
Yeah, I know this. I know this club very well.
Yeah.
And when you are there, I'm going to be there too.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Absolutely.
It's a great place to play, huh? So,
yeah.
yeah.
I know Martin for a long time. Martin, who does the events there.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
We have the same hometown. Yeah.
So as you
Same
said,
hood.
so what as you said, it's a pity that the process is now kind of finished. So, but because of all the creativity and working now with your new girl, you have already stuff prepared and ideas to move on. Because in the past almost every year you issued an album, So
Yeah,
you have already ideas for the next one?
We said actually every 2 years we wanted to release an album. That was the idea. So that's actually, yeah.
We kind of did it.
We're not doing too bad there.
Again, awards, yeah.
So the plan is then, hopefully we will get live concerts back, do some touring, and then, prepare for the next steps, right?
Yes.
Of course, yeah. Of course. Yeah, we want to keep on going, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Of course. It's too much fun, and people need to hear this live.
Of course. Of course. So we wish you guys all the best for your new album. Hope we will see you live soon.
Yeah,
sooner than we think, I hope.
Come
and
to
it was
Germany.
a great time here with you. Thank you for sharing this evening with us.
Yeah, we hope to see you in real soon. And
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you
for having us here.
Thanks for the stories, and all the best for the release. And hopefully we see us live here in Germany or somewhere. Lots of success. Thanks for the stories. Have fun, and talk to you next time. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Get your shots. Get your shots.
Yes, we'll get the shots. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.